Treasures of the Snow. Okay, we are at Christmas again, and this chapter is called Christmas Again and Gingerbread Bears. And so just do a quick review as to what's going on. And we have Annette is telling Danny that she doesn't know where, or well, she thinks that the fairies brought those animals that Danny is playing with. And I think Lucian is starting to begin to understand what it means to really seek for some forgiveness. So let's continue reading. Autumn came, and the cows returned from the high pastures. Danny was growing taller every day, and by October the village cobbler had to make him a new pair of boots. He went to the infant school, too, every day, and Monsieur Bonnier paid two big boys 1 franc each a week to pull him home in the cart. And now Christmas had come around again. The snow lay over a foot deep on the chalet roofs, and Papa had to dig a path from the front door to the main sled track. The little stream was silent and frozen, and icicles hung like bright swords from the rocks. Annette and Danny went to school on the sled every morning by starlight, but came home in the sunshine under a deep blue sky, the snow sparkling like jewels. Pause there and tell back, beginning with Autumn came and the cows returned from the high pastures. Okay. Christmas was a very special time to Danny, for all the great events of his life had happened at Christmas. His mother had died on Christmas Eve, and though Danny had never known his mother, he sensed a certain gentle sadness in his father's face and felt a special tenderness toward him and Annette. Danny himself had had all the mothering he needed from grandmother and Annette, and the only time he ever thought about his mother was when grandmother read about heaven in the Bible. Then he would gaze up into her photograph on the wall and think that when his time came to go to heaven, it would be nice to see her kind face, so like Annette's, looking out for him and smiling to welcome him. It was his own birthday, too, and this year he was 6. He had thought for a long time about being 6, and he expected to wake up quite a new child on the morning of Christmas Eve. So it was a rather disappointing to find, as he lay in the warm, shuttered darkness, that he really felt no bigger or stronger or more important than before. Then he remembered that he was going to see the Christmas tree in the church, and grandmother had made a special cake for his birthday. And after that, there was no room for disappointment thoughts any longer. Of course, according to Danny, Christmas was Claus's birthday too. It wasn't really Claus's birthday because Claus must have been at least a fortnight old when she crept into Danny's slipper. But Danny had never thought of that. Okay, pause there and tell back, beginning with Christmas was a very special time to Danny. Okay, and we'll continue on. Best of all, it was the birthday of the Lord Jesus. And although Danny did not talk about it very much, he thought about it a lot. It made him strangely happy to know that he shared the birthday of the perfect child. What could I give to the little Lord Jesus for a birthday present? He had asked, resting his elbows on grandmother's knee and looking up into her face. You can give your own self to him, grandmother had answered, pausing a moment in her knitting. And you can ask him to make your very loving and make you very loving and obedient. That will please him better than anything. So throughout Christmas, Danny tried to be loving and obedient in order to please the child whose birthday he shared, and his love just overflowed to everyone. He tidied grandmother's workbox and wiped the dishes for Annette. In the afternoon, he went out to the shed and visited the cows and returned in turn, wishing Happy Christmas into their silky ears. And at the end of the day, when he said his prayers, he whispered, I hope I am giving you a happy birthday, little Lord Jesus. Okay, pause there. Tell back, beginning with, best of all, it was the birthday of the Lord Jesus. Okay, and we will continue. So Danny had a perfect birthday. And when evening came and it was time to wrap up warmly and go down to the church, his happiness was complete. To begin with, there was the ride on the sled between Papa and Annette, with the cold air making his nose feel as though it wasn't there. It was almost full moon, and the white mountains looked quite silvery. All the trees in the forest were weighed down with snow, and the lower branches trembled as they rushed past. Annette held him tightly around the middle, which made him feel very warm and safe. Out of the wood, over the bumpy little bridge, and down across the last field with a cold rush, there was the little church with the rosy light of hundreds of candles streaming from the windows and door, and the villagers greeting each other in the porch. Danny was carried up the aisle in Papa's arms and placed on the front bench with the other children from the infant school. 30 little rosy-faced children in woolly hoods gazing in wonder at the tree. Only 3 days ago it had been weighed down with snow in the cold forest near Danny's house. Now it was decorated and sparkling, covered with oranges, chocolate sticks, and shining gingerbread bears. Stop there and pause and tell back, beginning with, so Danny had a perfect birthday. And we will go ahead and stop there for today. I know this is just setting up for Christmas. This is just the beginning of Christmas. But I want you just to think about what Christmas looks like to you. I know we just finished Easter. But think about what Christmas looks like to you and what it means to you and what kind of gift you would give to Jesus. Okay?